Welcome back to Bloomington Stadium. Hope you enjoyed the Senior Day festivities. A Senior Day like no other here in 2020, but at least they had one here for the Jaguar girls.
And what a great day to have it on, Josh Powers.
Yeah, alongside Alex Redding, I'm Josh Powers, and we keep saying this every time we appear here together in our socially distanced and separate booth high atop the stadium, but we have really lucked out on the weather once again.
It's a broken record, I got to tell you, and it was great riding up here. I live close enough to Bloomington Stadium where I could take my bike, and it was a really good ride all the way up here. And, of course, it's really pretty outside.
The head coach for the Hawks is Nick Weatherall. And now the starting lineup for the Jefferson Jaguars. The goalkeeper, senior, number 0, Captain Kayla Youngworth. Midfielder, senior, number 2, Captain Ella Bloomquist. Forward, senior, number 11, Captain Rachel Hall. Midfielder, junior, number 12, Jada Johnson. Defender, junior, number 14, Emma Nelson. Midfielder, junior, number 16, Jolie Gunn. Midfielder, sophomore, number 17, Aya Macklid. Defender, senior, number 21, Captain Claire Sazma. Forward, senior, number 26, Riley Keeler. Defender, senior, number 20, Emily Nelson. And defender, senior, number 71, Lacey Morrow. The head coach for the Jaguars is Eric Johnson. The officials for today's game are Anna Holtman, Michael Johnson, and Jose Ramos Munoz. Just a few reminders before we begin. This game is being played according to the rules of the Minnesota State High School League. These rules provide for fair competition and good sportsmanship among the players. Spectators can help promote good sportsmanship during and following the game by observing the fundamentals of good sportsmanship as printed in your game program. Everyone is requested to take personal responsibility for keeping this game at a high level of good sportsmanship. Spectators who engage in conduct dangerous to themselves or others, or who interfere with the rights of others to view this game, will be directed to leave. If this occurs, the admission fee will not be refunded. A reminder that Bloomington Schools and its athletic facilities are tobacco-free. We ask your cooperation in refraining from tobacco use in and around the stadium today. Finally, please be mindful of and follow proper physical distancing protocols as you watch the game and move around the stadium during and after the contest. Spectators are expected to sit 6 feet apart unless sitting as a family. We ask that all spectators wear masks while entering and exiting the facility and when a 6-foot distance is not possible. Please do your part in keeping everyone healthy and safe and help our teams to keep playing the entire season. Your cooperation in all these matters will be very much appreciated. At this time, we ask that you please stand and join us for the national anthem.
Senior day, and it could not be any better for the Jaguars and 7 seniors here this afternoon. They're going to look to get their second win of the season. Jefferson comes in at 1-5-1. Robbinsdale Cooper, the opponent, comes in with a record of 3-4. There are the Jaguars, the 7 seniors: Rachel Hall, Lacey Morrow, Kayla Youngworth, Ella Bloomquist, Claire Sazama, Emily Nelson, Riley Keeler will all play today. And what a beautiful day. Alex Redding, what do we know about this Cooper team? This is the only meeting between these two teams this year, so they haven't played yet, but I know they have some high-end talent.
Yes, they most certainly do. And, well, this is, by the way, on the Cooper side of the ball, a team that is coming off of a 3-0 loss against Benilde St. Margaret, and that was, by the way, at home back last Tuesday night. And keep in mind, the Benilde St. Margaret team that Jefferson had to play previously this season ended in a 1-0 Benilde win. So even though Benilde did win the game, they only scored 1 goal. And that goal came late in the game in the second half, Josh. And so Cooper's going to be put to the test with their offense being in the attacking zone against the Jefferson defense, especially against Kayla Youngworth, outstanding goalkeeper, and Claire Sazama. It's pretty easy to see where she is with those neon cleats on the back end of Jefferson's play on the pitch with the defensive side of the ball. And so Cooper's going to definitely need to get as many chances for turnovers in the midfield, in transition play. If they can control that, they can really crack down on Jefferson's defense and put some points on the board.
Well,
so to speak. Of course, in Robbinsdale Cooper, one thing I also want to mention is they got a couple of D1 commits too as well. So Jefferson is going to be neat looking for them.
Yeah, and one of those is Bella Grandbois, 4 goals this year. That's the most on the team. She wears number 4 for the Cooper Hawks.
She also has 17 shots on goal so far this season as well.
So you know they like to get the ball early and often to her.
Oh, certainly.
Jordan Sadler, one of the co-captains, number 8 on a run, turned back by that Jaguar D, Jada Johnson, that time.
Nice job by Macklett in the midfield moments ago, trying to challenge the play out there towards the midfield stripe by the Cooper Hawks. Now, that's an area where Jefferson can excel at. If they give Macklett the ball, she's gone with it. It's going forward. Very, very optimistic midfielder. And she has scored one of the few elusive goals for the Jefferson offense this season, and that came against the Kennedy Eagles in the 1-1 tie right here at Bloomington Stadium against the Kennedy Eagles. So also as we look to tonight's game for the Jefferson Jaguars, they are coming off of the 2-0 loss against the Chaska Hawks. That was right here on BEC-TV a couple nights ago, right here at Bloomington Stadium. Now, the offense in that game, as far as chances are concerned, were much more improved compared to the game against Benilde they played previously before that. But again, they need to get the ball in the back of the net, and that right now is the key for Jefferson. Maybe get some of the size down there. But their defense last night, or correction, a couple of nights ago, was very, very well done. And in fact, a lot of the great play we saw in that game against Benilde that they played earlier in the year, that carried over into the game last Tuesday night. So Jefferson also looking to keep that momentum going as we push forward here at the start of the first half.
Here's Aya Macklett, the outstanding sophomore for the Jaguars. Best offensive player toward the 18 and fires, but it was blocked.
As you could see there, she went forward with the ball and she just took it right up the middle. Didn't care, just drove. As Youngworth goes out to get it way deep into the penalty box. One of the
7 Jaguar seniors all getting the start tonight, or today, not quite evening with the 5 o'clock start. Boys game to follow under the lights, also against Cooper, as we continue these doubleheader mini kind of bubbles each and every game day.
Yep, and teams are only going to play conference opponents. That, of course, due to the COVID bubble rule set in place by the Minnesota State High School League. And by the way, Josh, I'm so much looking forward to the boys game later on tonight, because with that tie against the Chaska Hawks, that really put a dent in Chaska's plans at trying to get the top spot in the Metro West.
The Cooper boys have yet to win a game, so a good chance for Jefferson to continue their good plays. This one will go out. Throw for Emma Nelson. Jefferson's defense not quite as tight as I think they would have liked to have been a couple nights ago. They gave up that early goal on a play they usually don't allow to let happen. The second one was kind of a tough bounce for the girls that went the Chaska Hawks way. So I think they want to be more like the Benilde game where they were virtually mistake-free in that game. As you see, a nice touch there by the senior Ella Bloomquist, one of the co-captains.
Yeah, and going back to the game last Tuesday night, Josh, for Jefferson on the girls' side of the ball, they wanted to open up the offensive unit a little bit more, so they knew that they were going to be faced with the dilemma as that one is sent towards the net and to Youngworth on a one-hop. But anyway, Jefferson in the game last Tuesday night, finishing my thought, I know that they kind of started out with some mistakes, but that was more towards on the defensive side of the ball. It's because they were trying to get some of that offensive momentum going early. And of course, in order to do that, you have to take a little bit of that support off of the defense in order to get the ball up the pitch. So, I mean, there are the givens and druthers you have to decide on doing during the course of a game. And, you know, so far, I mean, Jefferson's going to need to weigh those here and carefully against Cooper. Nice pressure on the near side by Jefferson's Jada Johnson, number 12.
Tried to get it up to Lacey Morrow, wearing an unusual number 71. She's also one of those 7 seniors getting that start today. Cooper 3 and 4. They've defeated St. Louis Park, Chanhassen, and also Kennedy 2-1. That was their most recent game before that Benilde loss.
So overall, they are doing really good, especially towards the middle of the season.
That was the goaltender A.J. Giron, a senior for Cooper, coming out to kick that one away. Here's Grandbois.
Nice pressure by Mackle up the middle.
They leave Camp open. She slides it further ahead into the 18. Back to Grandbois and back to help the D. Aya Macklin deposits that one for a Cooper throw.
I was going to say nice play by Macklin as she's able to break up the middle.
Macklin continuing to battle. This one will go to Cooper, though. Grandbois with the shot just over the bar. You can see that accuracy. She did not have a big head of steam on that one, and she nearly found the top corner.
Well, I mean, also to mention, too, that she had pressure on her as well. I mean, it's one thing to be able to find space and make accurate kicks towards the net, but it's another thing to do that plus be covered on closely with a defender in the area. And you can see why D1's going after her.
Jace Herman slips it through. This is Jordan Sadler, one of the co-captains, into the box, looking for Jayla Reifert, number 19. Can't quite keep control of it. Played away by Emma Yates, who gets all tangled up on a Cooper foul.
Yeah, definitely a foul and a half.
Easy first foul call of the game for our referee as Sazama swings into it. She'll take most of the free kicks for Jefferson, especially in that defensive to midfield area. Johnson, good vision, finds Macklin. Macklin up for Hall. Is it onside? It is not. You can hear Hall protesting that one on our mics. Did so nice and politely.
Yeah, I know our audio setup this year is a lot more versatile than it has been in years past. We're able to capture a lot more of the pitch audio, especially behind both of the nets and alongside of that pitch near the touch line on the near side.
Much like you're watching experiences with other professional sports, you're able to pick up a lot more of what the players are saying this year because of the lack of fans. Not that there's thousands of fans at a high school soccer game, but nonetheless, there's less than normal, and we've seen our viewership go up. So thank you for tuning in tonight, this first part of our doubleheader between Jefferson and Cooper.
And it's also been great to see the responses that we have been getting from other schools, and even the Chaska-Chan newspaper had some really positive things to say. We appreciate them taking the time to watch our programming, and it's just part of bringing you, ladies and gentlemen, the community of Bloomington. That's why we changed our middle name during the summer from cable to community.
Here's a mistake by Cooper right at midfield. Riley Keeler up ahead. A chance for the Jaguars, and it's taken away right at the right time by the Hawks. Jefferson's going to need to win 50-50 balls like that at midfield to generate some scoring chances. Continuing that, Alex, we've been hearing from parents, and I think they're just glad to see more soccer coverage this fall. Typically, we do spend a lot of our resources, maybe more than other sports, on football, and that's certainly a more popular sport than soccer, but I've certainly enjoyed covering this sport more in depth this year once again, and I think the parents have appreciated that as well.
Well, certainly, and even on the broadcast side, I've really appreciated watching soccer. Not too much of a soccer fan, but I can say that after watching it this season, I'm definitely a fan, both on the boys and the girls side. Very great games, and, it's been fun for my first year broadcasting in the booth for BEC. Well, for soccer games at least. I've been broadcasting for at least a couple of years prior.
Foul here on Riley Keeler. This will be a free kick for Claire Snapco. 16 into the 18. Jefferson lets it bounce a couple times, but not toward any Cooper player in particular. And then it's blasted away by Bloomquist. As we come up on the 10-minute mark gone by here, first half senior day for the 7 Jaguar seniors. Hope you enjoyed that senior day presentation. If you missed it, if you're tuning in live, check out our on-demand version on our Facebook page or on BEC-TV.org, and you can pick up that senior day presentation in its entirety. Jaguar sub here is the senior Keeler. Heads out for a breather.
Lexi Evans, number 13, comes in for the Jaguars, one of the freshmen on the roster.
Thank you, Alex. Couldn't quite identify that number from my angle, but
had the binoculars ready this time from the booth.
Jaguar throw for Emma Nelson, and much like we see Sosma take a lot of those free kicks, Nelson will take the majority of the throws, and unless it's very deep in Cooper's own end, at least on that side of the field. Chip toward midfield area, intercepted by Yates. Here's Macklid. Macklid for Hall. But good anticipation by Herman. She was on the move even before Hall started that run.
Great hustle by Rachel Hall to stay with the ball. Even though it was passed a little bit ahead by Macklid moments ago, she stayed with it, and the ball stays further down into the Cooper end of the pitch.
Body position dictating that foul as Sadler was able to ward off Bloomquist long enough.
Jefferson doing a nice job in the midfield area, Josh, and especially with even a third player coming up to help offensively get the attack going, but also not expending too much from the back end from those biddies or defensemen.
Yates being harassed from behind by Reifert, and it'll be a Jaguar throw. Good poise by the freshman Emma Yates.
Yeah, Emma Yates. Well, yeah, easy enough for me to say Emma Yates.
It's a tongue twister.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Alexi Evans and Emma Yates, as I was going to say, the only 2 freshmen on the Jaguar roster for the girls soccer team. So
it's a pretty balanced roster. You got some youngsters. It's a good, healthy senior class of 7, but not like some of the other teams we've seen that have had 14, 15 seniors, especially Chaska yesterday. But good mix for the Jaguars, and a lot of the younger players contribute to this team.
Well, certainly a lot of development time up ahead for these Jaguars as they move throughout the program in their high school days, and as well as having something to look forward to for next year. A lot of the returning senior classmen, I guess you could say.
Jefferson does have one more home game, but I can see why they chose to have it their senior day today, because that last home game is against Kennedy, so they're kind of saving that Battle of Bloomington. That'll have its own special feel, and then they'll have this special feel today for this senior day ahead of that game.
Yeah, and there are definitely some things that need to be settled after the first match, as I believe I mentioned earlier in the 1-1 tie.
Yeah, no one likes to tie in a Battle of Bloomington. It could happen again in just over a week. We don't know, but yeah, at least they get another chance to decide things on the pitch. As in the meantime, we have Grandbois here with a free kick. Going to be difficult to beat Kayla Youngworth straight up from this position. We'll see what she chooses to do. She'll go for it. It's a little too far. You can see why she's D1. I mean, that ball jumps off that right foot of Bella.
And it has the placement, too, to get there. I mean, that time it was a little bit far, but you can really tell that she knows where to put the ball, and she doesn't try and force or place it too much off of that foot, try to be picky about it. And that's just the result of a lot of hard work and practice and great mechanics.
This figures to be a lower scoring game. Cooper only has 7 goals this year. Jefferson only with 3. Jaguars play very good defense. Cooper has given up 19 goals this year, so they're a little bit more leaky. Conversely, Jefferson, even though they have a worse record, has only given up 10 goals all season.
Another fact that I want to mention, too, as far as roster depth, Cooper has played everyone except for 5 people for 6 games this year. So everyone has gotten a lot of time on the pitch all around.
Camp cross hits the leg of Sazama, deflects out of the 18.
That was a great position by Sazama in the box.
When is she not in great position?
I know, right? Exactly.
Would be the question. Zozel has it taken away on the far side. Having to retreat. Evans. Nice move by Lexi. And she wisely gives it to the co-captain Sazama.
Nice job working through the double team.
That's Yates again, making some moves. I think she was hoping Macklin would try for a run, but instead it's played back toward goaltender Giron.
Speaking of Macklin, and Macklin, great job, tried to contest the kick there that hung high from the goaltender. This one out of play.
Jaguar throw. We're nearing the midway point of half number 1 of our doubleheader. Temperatures in the mid-70s, and again, almost no wind. Macklin trying to negotiate up for Abby Longhenry, who's checked in for Rachel Hall. Longhenry unable to win that battle. Good poise back there by Cooper. Sadler. Grandbois at midfield.
You could see there previously in the midfield, coverage-wise for Jefferson's defense, when Grandbois had the ball, they put on a double team. Of course, I think you would have to, especially with the way that she's able to kick.
Sadler again sneaks one through. Ryford, and it's a Cooper corner. Our first corner kick of the game. Comes just under the midway point of the first half. It's Caitlin Camp, the junior number 7, looking like she's going to attempt this corner.
Right, and Jefferson needs to take the box away as much as they can tonight. In fact, that's one of our keys to the game.
You can see why they want her on this side, because she's a left-footed kicker, at least this time, as it's deflected wide of the far post. But Youngworth was over there. Had it been on net, she would have been able to save it.
All right, as you can see, there are keys to the game. I just mentioned the box, a big area for Jefferson that they need to take it away. Controlling the midfield, being able to create those transition opportunities, that's going to be very critical, especially for Jefferson if they want to have some offensive success tonight and improve on that from last week. And then the offensive zone time. Even though if you don't get scoring chances, if you keep it in the attacking zone long enough, something will open up, and that's what Jefferson needs to focus on right now, too. And as well, both teams.
Bloomquist tried to chip it up for Longhenry, but off target. Just 3 more games in the regular season after tonight for both teams. Camp swings it toward the 18. Played out of there by Lexi Evans. Yates, good aggressiveness, too much aggressiveness. Pushes the Cooper Hawk player in the back for a foul. This will allow Snapco to come up, and she's going to be able to put it into the box, you would figure, from here.
Right, and when she hits the target, she can make some snappy plays.
Toward Grandbois, played out. Sadler, that was a high bouncing ball, and she had a high degree of difficulty to get a strike on it, and this is going to be a Cooper corner as Youngworth was kind of caught in a little bit of no man's land there and was almost forced to just play it out, not wanting to risk anything more dangerous as she was well outside of the goal area. So now Camp again, the second corner for Cooper. This one off target, pulled to the left and off the side of the net. You always like those when you're back there on defense. You don't have to do anything. Just watch it sail out of play.
Well, that's much more time to rest up and recuperate to try and get another offensive rush going.
Grandbois trying to get past Johnson to space. Tried to slip one through. In good position was Evans. Here's Zozo. Too far on the touch, though. Midway through the first half on this gorgeous fall Thursday from Bloomington Stadium, alongside Alex Redding and our crew, Josh Powers with you. Jefferson looking for win number 2. And Cooper win number 4. They're both trying to move up the standings here in the Metro West. All chasing Chaska and Benilde right at the top.
Katie Valise is also now in the game for the Robbinsdale Cooper Hawks.
She's number 17, a sophomore. All still in. Cooper players had stopped playing, at least a couple of them. Grandbois
Nice
in
move.
space, the strike. Youngworth is there on the dive. Didn't have to be fully outstretched, but definitely needed to dive somewhat to make sure to get that one.
Yeah, and that positioning again is something that Cooper is going to have to not underestimate.
Long Henry settles that one nicely. Good idea to try to cut back as Macklin was in the middle, but recovering there was Herman. Bloomquist up for Macklin. Macklin, nice move. Macklin, this is where she excels. Touches that one just a little bit too far. A little bit of a mistake by Cooper, and it's chipped in. Will it count? It will. It's a Jaguar goal.
And you know what? Credit Macklin for working out of a pickle on the near side towards the corner. She's the one who sent it towards the middle. Did get cleared
Or was
up,
that?
but great.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
No goal. Jefferson had retreated. I was going to say, will it count because of a potential offsides, but it apparently hit the crossbar and came down in front or on the line. So no goal for the Jaguars and a glorious opportunity.
That's such a tough break. I don't care if you're undefeated Benilde or if you're Jefferson.
Let's take another look. It was a failed clear. Gunn swung it into the box. And Long Henry, maybe we can slow that down. It was Abby Long Henry. We'll try to get you one more look. One to determine if that was onside or not, because at first look, I thought that was offsides. And then number 2, where did that ball land after hitting the crossbar?
Well, if only the officials had access to the instant replay that we have the luxury of having, of course. And again, we'll try and get another look for you, but that's a really good job on the last almost goal by Jolie Gunn to try and get it into the box. Good job.
So here's Gunn on the touch. And I think that's on right there. If you look where Long Henry was, and clearly no goal. So the correct call certainly there is that definitely didn't even hit on the line. That hit in front of the line. So I think that answers both questions there. We don't have the shot right down the line, but I think you can infer enough where both people were that the Long Henry was not offside, and boy, you'd like to be able to find the back of the net there, unfortunately for the Jaguars.
Well, certainly. Look at Jefferson be aggressive here on the midfield.
Long Henry trying to make up for it. She's in the clear, Abby Long Henry. Can she redeem? No, it's saved by Jiren. Long Henry. Another shot on goal. Fans applauding her effort.
You can't ask for better offensively if you're Jefferson right now, considering where your offense was the last two matches compared to how it's come out of the gate here in the first half. In tonight's match, Josh, they're doing very excellent. And Mackled on the first almost goal attempt by Jefferson, she worked it out of that corner on the near side beautifully.
It's been Jefferson getting the dangerous chances in this game so far. Great move, Yates. Slides one toward Mackled and blasted away by the Hawks.
You can see Robbinsdale Cooper doesn't want to get anywhere or get the ball anywhere near Mackled. They just want to clear it away. And again, it's because Mackled's so good at being able to create turnovers by herself and be able to handle that ball so well when she's in space, one-on-one with a defender. Even in traffic, as you can see here.
I think if you're Long Henry there, one more extra touch, I think, hurt her. That allowed Jiren to get a little bit closer. Watch this attempt here. That last touch a little bit too far. Jiren's able to cut down the angle and shorten that window that Long Henry had. Still a great effort by Abby. But also credit Jiren. That is not an easy decision, and looked like she was positioned perfectly for that shot attempt.
Most certainly, and that's about as aggressive as you want to get if you're a goalkeeper. And she's got a large frame too, so she can go out and take some gambles like that, and that time it paid off. And again, she has, coming into tonight's match, 44 total saves, so she's been very busy for Cooper when she's had to be.
Grandbois, dangerous touch, well inside the 18. But it sails harmlessly wide, and I think that's the experience there of a senior goaltender, AJ Jiren. And certainly Jefferson has one too, and senior Kayla Youngworth, but it's a player who's been able to log some experience back there and not panic in a dicey situation. Good punch there by Lexi Evans. She'll come up to take the Jaguar throw as we get in the late stages of this first half. Still scoreless, although Jefferson probably feels like they should have at least one up there.
Well, that one stayed in. And it's still inbounds.
Ryford working on Evans, slips it through. They find Gadbois with the shot. And that's that's three that have just missed high. But I think if you're Grandbois, unless you tuck that one just under the post, you're not going to beat Youngworth from that far.
Jefferson also did a nice job of getting back there defensively and creating some presence in the area to give something for the Robbinsdale Cooper offense to think about, especially
Bella.
Grandbois.
Nice touch here, Velez. Off the Cooper bench, Bella, big swing, trying for the bounce. And Youngworth plays it perfectly.
Grandbois again finding out just how difficult it is to play goalkeeper for Jefferson, number 0, Kayla Youngworth, because she positions herself so well.
Cooper has had more shots on goal in this game because of Grandbois, but they've come from distance. Whereas the Jefferson couple of great opportunities for them have come right in front of the net.
And that goes back to one of the keys to the game about taking away the penalty box, and especially if you're Jefferson, that is so huge in order to try and win this game.
Emma Yates keeps it away from Sadler. Good touch by Grace Shuck, who's come in. She's chased down from behind, though. Recovers, chips it up toward Long Henry. Evans finds Aya Macklin with a nice ball in. Shuck on the move. Has Long Henry. And some contact. That was inside the box, it looked like. They'll play on.
If Snapco was a few steps behind that initial rush, there would have been a pass over into the middle of the box and a chance at a one-timer potentially. So good hustle by Snapco on the play for Cooper.
That's Claire Snapco. There are two. There's Kira, the younger sister. She's a 9th grader, wears number 3. Claire, the older sister, is a junior, number 16. Just over 10 minutes left, scoreless. First half from Bloomington Stadium. Boys game coming up next, 7:15 start if you're watching live. If you're watching the tape delayed version, head on over to our Facebook live page. Or Facebook page, you can find that feed of the boys game. They're all posted on our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/BEC-TV. Nelson. Gunn intercepts, keeps it in.
Great positioning by Gunn, but look out, here come the offense, well, the defense too by Cooper.
Great recovery there by the Hawks. They give it to Gunn though. Gunn back for Shuck. And the Hawks are there once again.
I gotta say, those are a few good plays on that last offensive rush by Julie Gunn. She's positioned herself well in tonight's game, Josh, hasn't she, especially around the midfield area.
Well, Jefferson's doing things to make Cooper's defense work, and that's never a bad thing. It's one thing you talked about in our keys is that controlling that midfield. And here's another example here. Macklin settling it, trying to lead for an offensive opportunity. But when you can get clean touches in that area, that sets up everything. Jada Johnson. Jefferson, a lot more possession time here tonight than we've seen the last couple games. Certainly Cooper not the strength of teams that they've seen with the likes of Chaska and Benilde the last 2 games, and Jefferson is able to control more of the play.
They took away some really important things from those previous 2 matches against Chaska and Benilde, by the way.
Granbaugh just swings it up, hoping for a bounce, and she gets it. Here's Sadler, punched away by Yates. Having a nice first half.
Nice moves by Macklin as she sends it ahead.
Long Henry on the run. Not able to get there. Herman.
I think that's safe.
And now Faith Holmes, just a freshman back there, number 21. Camp has it stripped by Long Henry. Her ball for Shuck. Grace Shuck. Can't quite get there in time. But again, they are making Cooper work in the back end.
This is exactly, if you are Coach Eric Johnson for Jefferson, what you want to be seeing.
Yeah, winning 50-50 balls, sending players on runs ahead. Just going to keep Cooper on the defensive here, as coming into the game to take this throw, Grace Murray, number 5, junior. Macklin trying to win a corner, perhaps, and does. First corner for the Jaguars.
I got to tell you, Macklin has such a great soccer IQ, especially when she's in those high-pressure situations.
Well, and Cooper already saw her squeeze around 2 players in an earlier situation like that, so setting up that corner to be taken by Jolie Gunn. In the box, Macklin too tall. It bounces. Johnson! And it was blocked, but a Jaguar foul inside that box.
And again, another great offensive chance on the corner kick for Jefferson. Boy, and I got to tell you, Josh, this offense just keeps getting better. I mean, even from last Tuesday, it's already very much improved, especially in the first half. Now, typically their offense has had some good chances later in games, typically.
We saw that against Kennedy. Jefferson had a pretty dominant second half, just couldn't quite find the game winner.
Somehow previously that ball stayed in bounds.
Nice settle by Grandbois on that touch. Around Gunn, looking for options.
Oh, broke Gunn's ankles.
Ball through, intended for Anna Ziska, who's checked in, a senior
Whoa.
number 11, and she wins a Cooper throw, or no, actually going to go to Jefferson. Excuse me there, clearly off Ziska.
Again, another smart play by Jefferson. And of course, this is exactly how you want to be playing on senior night, isn't it, Josh?
Well, they're having good effort, and so far they've had the better of the quality scoring chances. Need to have one break through, and they can rely on that D. Shuck, just a little too far for Hall. He's come back in for the final 5 minutes of this first half.
And again, back in the defensive zone, Jefferson was able to send that one up the pitch because Mocklet again.
Another Jaguar throw as you watch Emma Nelson come into your screen. Backheader looking for Shuck. Player Snapco gets back and sends one toward Jada Johnson, and now Grandbois. Cooper trying to counter. Good positioning by Gunn right there to slow her up.
And again, defensive recovery is going to be crucial for Jefferson late in the game. How quick can they transition to their defensive roles?
Jordan Sadler being chased down from behind by Jada Johnson. Sadler recovers.
There's just such great disruption here in the midfield, especially on the defensive side of the ball for these Jags.
Return pass Grandbois too far. Her and Sadler are tired. They've been running around for the last minute. Here's Macklin looking for an option upfield.
Oh! That was a great pass by Macklin.
It's off the face of Shuck. She not phased, goes right to the ball, but didn't get enough on that one. Ruby Studer is checked in, number 23, for Jefferson. Studer sends it back to Sazama. She's had a quiet night, but that's just totally fine by her.
Yeah, the more pressure you can take off of the defense, all else is going to come fine and dandy. And again, it's that time of possession in the offensive zone. Speaking to the more specific point on the broader term.
Shuck trying to track this down as it twists toward the flag. It'll go in front of the flag for a throw. Certainly we have called Sazama's name much less than we have in the last couple of games against Benilde and Chaska. Sazama's going to come up to support here and take this throw in.
And again, it's another throw in inside the attacking zone for the Jefferson Jaguars. And again, part of a really excellent game plan, in my opinion, of trying to stretch this defense super thin by making them run around everywhere.
Nothing materializing from that chance. Grandbois with a long one. Good decision here by Studer to go to the sideline, but it escapes out of play. 2 minutes to go first half. Still scoreless. Jolie Gunn with that steal. Macklin now as Jefferson looks for a final chance in the half. Tried to squeeze it through two Cooper defenders. We'll go over to the Hawks, who doesn't seem particularly interested in a final push. At least as of yet. Here's Nelson. Grandbois finding Ziska with just over a minute left. By the way, coming up at halftime, stick around. We're going to have a little halftime senior day celebration.
And also learn a little bit
on
more about
BEC-TV.
each of the Jefferson Jaguar senior players.
Yeah, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah, because if you do, I'm going to leap to the screen and I'm going to mess you up really bad. Same with Josh, aren't that right?
I don't know if I could do much damage to anybody, but Jefferson trying for a late push here and a chance, maybe in the final half minute. Bloomquist header, but it goes right to Jordan Sadler. Grandbois slips one through, but not ready for it was the freshman Kira Snapko.
And again, she'll work on that, definitely. One of those freshman mistakes.
Well, Grandbois is so creative. Sometimes you don't see that coming. As we've reached halftime, good first half. Jefferson certainly had its chances, two extremely quality ones, both by Abby Longhenry. One hit off the crossbar and somehow didn't go in. The other one was a good save by A.J. Giron. Cooper had some looks too, but not nearly the quality that the Jaguars had. But all in all, Alex, Jefferson against a team a little bit lower in the pecking order than they've seen the last couple of games, and certainly that's shown here on the field through the first half.
Well, they haven't played like the position that they are currently standing in as far as the Metro West standings are concerned. And you know what? I've also noticed in this game too, Macklett has had much more time handling the ball. And the ability that she has exhibited to pass to her teammates and have that incredible IQ and that vision is on full display here on senior night. So entertaining to watch her and all the other soccer players for Jefferson. And we really, really know about Claire Sasma's ability defensively to clear stuff out of the box when she needs to. Such a great player, as well as goalkeeper Kayla Youngworth. They haven't been very busy. And then the other thing that we've seen too is that Jefferson's offense has been able to create so much noise. Cooper really needs to worry about conserving energy defensively as we go into the second half out of intermission. So it's really Cooper who's been thrown on the back foot as far as this game has gotten.
Yeah, and it's been the Jaguar midfield that has done a nice job in this game. Players like Bloomquist and Yates, and certainly we've seen Jolie Gunn at times starting to make plays happen. Jada Johnson as well. So the Jaguars, a good first half, but yet to find the back of the net, and that's where we sit right here through 40 minutes.
Although they found the crossbar, so there is a start to that.
They did find the crossbar, but not the back of the net yet. We will take a short break. Stick around. We will come back with a mini, we think anyway, a mini senior day celebration here. The Jaguars and Hawks at halftime on BEC-TV.
Graduate this spring. Lacey Morrow, number 71, her parents Todd and Wendy. Her favorite memory was becoming a captain for her senior year. Her advice to the younger players is to stop playing. Lacey stopped playing for 5 years and was scared to start again. She says it never is too late to pick something back up and become involved again. Plans after high school, Lacey's is undecided, but plans on attending college next fall. Number 21, Claire Sasma. Parents Christy and Andrew. Her favorite soccer memory was her Gatorade challenge in middle school with Coach Bunkert. Advice for younger players, always give 110%. Leave everything on the field. Plans after high school. She She plans to study biology and biochemistry and hopefully study abroad. Number 22, Emily Nelson, parents Jeff and Dana. Favorite soccer memory? Dressing up for the 4-on-4 tournaments was a lot of fun, getting to see all the different costumes. Advice for younger players: have fun and enjoy every moment in school and on and off the field, because you'd never know before you know it, you'll be graduating. Plans after high school are yet to be determined. Number 00, Kayla Youngworth, parents Jeff and Stacy. Favorite soccer memory: sophomore year, played in my first soccer game that season, which happened to be the last game of the season, and I cut the goalie's leg open by accident. Advice for younger players: always be able to look back and be able to say you gave it your best. Never look back and say you can have given it all every time. Plans after high school: Caleb plans to play lacrosse at Kent State University in Ohio and major in exercise science. Kayla Youngworth. Number 11, Captain Rachel Hall, parents Jen and Tim. Favorite soccer memory: scoring my junior year in the Kennedy game, but missing my senior year. Advice for younger players: cherish all the soccer memories. These are the moments you'll want to remember. Plans after high school: go to college and major in elementary ed or child psychology. Rachel Hall. Captain Ella Bloomquist, parents Dave and Michelle. Favorite soccer memory: scoring in the Kennedy game last year and winning. Advice for younger players: run the summer before the season so Eric can't tell you it's too late to get fit. Plans after high school: college and majoring in psychology. Ella Bloomquist. And finally, Riley Keeler, parents Laura and Terry. Favorite soccer memory: just being able to play soccer with this team and becoming so close with this amazing group of girls. Advice for younger players: make the most out of your high school soccer career because it goes by very fast. Plans after high school: attend college next fall. Riley Keeler. A huge round of applause for this year's Senior 7. Thank you very much.
Back at halftime, Jefferson and Cooper tied at 0, scoreless first 40 minutes. Alongside Alex Redding, our crew, Josh Powers with you. First half highlights, and plenty of them for Jefferson, as they definitely, arguably, should be in the lead at halftime, Alex.
Yeah, and the key thing there is should be, and of course, Cooper had it going on offensively. They had some chances, especially from long range, but of course they were really kind of caught off guard by Kayla Youngworth's ability to position herself in front of the net, as we saw there on that last slowed down replay.
That was their best chance. This is Jefferson's best chance, and boy, oh boy, how close it was.
And off the crossbar and hitting just before crossing the goal line. It has to completely cross in order for it to count. I mean, that is as lucky as you can possibly have it if you're Cooper in front of the net like that. So a huge sigh of relief for the Hawks on that last highlight. And then Jefferson had another chance here on the breakaway, and oh, what a great save by A.J. Giron. 44 saves coming into tonight's match, and you can see why the senior goalkeeper does what she does well, especially going outside of her comfort zone towards the edge of that goalie box in front. That's a pretty aggressive play, but you can see why she does what she does, and that big frame of her is again another key asset for her.
Great job by our volunteer crew to get that, particularly that Youngworth chance slowed down, get you enough of a look there. We don't have a full crew. It's more of a skeleton crew per COVID, but they've been doing a great job all year, and that particular replay, a perfect example of execution on the end of the truck. Our director, Paul Fournier, great job in there, guys, as we get ready for half number 2.
Also, another one of our volunteer techs. He's currently a student at Kennedy High School. Andrew Grunt, he's been here all week, Josh, for all the games, and he was one of the Lone Rangers on camera on Monday. So he was there for both games. He was up there weathering it out, and you know what, hats off to him. And you know what, he has developed so well in his technical skill set, especially with his camera work. It's just fun seeing what he can do with that $30,000 piece of equipment on the tripod up there. So, and those cameras are not expensive. They got a lot of features on them, and of course, it takes a little bit to get worked in on them, and he's done a great job. I got to say.
Well, second half, they'll switch sides. Cooper in the road white, Jefferson home Columbia blue. See the shadows starting to creep in here past, or just about at the 6 o'clock hour here local time, on a perfect Thursday night. Low 70s about now, and almost no wind. So I haven't had a wind be a factor yet in our season, which has just been terrific.
Not one iota, quoting you back a while ago.
This is our third doubleheader, as you mentioned, Alex, this week. So our crew has been busy. I really hope you have enjoyed our increased soccer coverage, and we've been happy to provide it for both Jefferson and Kennedy this year. Boy, you really want to see Jefferson find the back of the net here to punctuate this senior day. They've played a very strong game so far.
And it's been on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, as well as defensively. And offense has kind of eluded them as far as chances go. They might get one here, and that one was taken away quite nicely and cleared out by Cooper's defense. But
boy, where would Cooper's defense be without Claire Snapko? She is their Sazama. She's saved the day on several attempts, and if she wasn't in that great a position, that would have been a Aya Macklid likely goal right there.
And Macklid, so big in the first half, being able to control the midfield. And even when she got in space, her passing ability really set her teammates up nicely to be in a really good offensive position. Even get out of pickles as she's needed to do.
Boy, they've done a nice job making her work. And a little frustration maybe there by Bella. Hasn't had a lot of open looks. She's had pretty much every shot on goal for Cooper, and that's fine by them, but most of them have come from outside the 18. You saw that one in that highlight package. That was their most dangerous chance. This one might go out for a Jaguar throw. They keep it alive. Velez has it intercepted by Emma Yates. Here comes the freshman. Slips it to Hall. Back to Yates. Just inside the 18. Zozo swings and misses as it was tipped out of her reach by Velez. Macklid has a shot at it. Aya Macklid trying to get to that right foot. Now looking for options, Macklin. Poked away from her, it'll be a throw. We'll see if Sazama comes up for this. They'll keep her on the back end for now. Back to Aya. Tried to find Ella Bloomquist, but the give and go didn't quite work. But still, Jefferson, just like the first half, they're spending a fair amount, a healthy amount of time in this Cooper defensive end.
Most certainly, and it was one of our keys to the game too, folks, if you were with us earlier on in the broadcast, about keeping the ball in the attacking zone. And it's not just about getting chances on net, of course, it's about keeping the ball into the attacking zone as much as possible, because you really tire out that defense. So when they have to be in a position to try and create a transition the other way, they're just going to be out of gas. And again, this is a young and developing Jefferson team, and they have come a long way since the season has started. Especially in tonight's game offensively and being able to control that midfield. Well done.
Grandbois wins this 50-50. Again, just can't quite complete the run. They are making her run all over the field. Try to get space. Here's the Hawks again. Macklin now on a loose ball. Slips it through just too far. Intended for Yates. Intercepted beautifully by Jada Johnson. Long ball from Macklin, trying to utilize that speed. And Faith Holmes calmly taps it over the line for a Jaguar throw. That's a good matchup for Jefferson. You got Macklin over there with her speed against Holmes, who's only a freshman. Macklin now working on Herman, who takes it away. Good play by Herman, and it'll draw a Jaguar foul. Sorry, Alex.
No, it's all right, Josh. And, you know, the thing I was going to mention is Cooper is now trying to put a defender near where Macklin is dribbling, but not too close. Like they found out in the first half, when you put Aya Macklin in the double team, she can work out of that with her handling skills relatively easily. And so, again, let's see if that'll open up some holes for the offense as Jefferson tries to work it back into the offensive zone, and they do.
Zozel, Velez laying on the ball. Zozel not deterred. Finds Hall. Hall lets it go. And it was an easy save for Jiren. Good job by Zozel, really sticking with that one and at least allowing Hall to get a crack at it, although a low percentage chance. Sadler. This is where her and Grandbois can be dangerous on those give and goes. They really complement each other. Sadler still on the move. Sadler! And that swing a little bit too aggressive. Jefferson fortunate there as Sadler made quite a play.
We saw quite a bit of those in the first half, especially from Grandbois, excuse me. I know that's easy enough for you and I to both say, Josh. But anyway, in the first half, Cooper had a lot of kicks that went over the net. And you can really kind of see offensively they want to get something going, a little frustrated against this Jefferson defense, but also the fact that they're tired with how the Jefferson offense has responded, especially throughout the game so far.
Look at Nelson there with a delicious touch. Grandbois swings into it, and jumping for that one was Youngworth. I got nervous there for a moment. That looked like it was perfectly placed by Grandbois, and it almost was.
I didn't get really nervous because you know why? Youngworth is one of the best at being a position player, Josh. And you know what? She's demonstrated that this entire week so well. And even throughout this game, she's made it that much more difficult for Cooper to try and get looks.
Well, you know she's going to be in the best possible position, but you still looked like there might have been a little bit of space there to squeeze that one in under the bar, but it's a little bit short. Herman making things happen for the Hawks. Here is Grandbois with some space and some players, some teammates with a head of steam. Chooses to fire that one on net, and it's easily scooped up by Youngworth. I wonder if she rushed that one a little bit.
Jefferson also did a good job of hanging with Cooper there in that transition attack.
Camp. Here's Kira Snapko. Bad pass to Jada Johnson. Bloomquist for Macklin.
Ooh, good block.
Hall was on the move, but it was blocked. They'll try again to Hall. Again working on Holmes. Hall with a half step. Hall, can she get to it? Her cross deflected and a goal kick.
Whoa.
Holy cow. How is that even possible?
Well, if the foul occurs inside the penalty box, it's going to be a penalty shot.
Well, I'm thinking that, how is that not a corner kick? Wasn't it
I
clearly
was thinking
kicked
that
there
too for
by
a second. That
Hall?
We'll get a look at the replay here, Josh, and yeah, for a second I thought that this was going to be a sure corner kick.
Watch Hall here. She'll get around Holmes. Good speed by Rachel Hall. And oh, I can see why they ruled. That was actually a good call. It was Cooper got to that first, and then it glanced off of Hall. So again, a nice look by our crew, showing you exactly how wrong I was on that one, Alex.
That's all right. We don't always get it, but that's why we have instant replay. It's there as a safety net. Little traffic jam on the near side, but Jefferson able to try and get it out here.
Johnson chips it up toward Long Henry, who had those two glorious chances back in the first half.
Nice disruption at the midfield by Jefferson, and now they send it back over.
Abby Long Henry in space, but it's Jace Herman again with a terrific takeaway. She has had a strong game for Cooper. Jaguar throw as Emma Nelson was able to glance that one off of Jordan Sadler. Almost looked like a handball there on Cam. They'll play on Grandbois, working on Jada Johnson. Tough matchup for Jada, staying with her though.
Oh.
Grandbois just can't get to that right foot. Jada still shadowing her.
Team.
Jada chips it away. Great defense from Jada Johnson, and then a foul on Grandbois, and maybe more. Will we see a card here? And I think we will. Official referee calling, or tried to call her over, and there's the card.
Yeah, it's a yellow.
So the frustration continues for Bella Grandbois. She's been bottled up today. Jada Johnson, a big reason for that, and she shadowed her for a good 40, 50 yards on this run by Grandbois.
What a great job staying on this D1 recruit. I mean, this is what Jefferson has exhibited a lot and in great fashion all year, and you know what? There's no place for that. Now, I know that things have definitely gotten chippy after the yellow card, and you'll credit Jefferson's offense for providing the pressure needed to keep that defense nice and relaxed, but even the positioning defensively, they haven't really had to work too much.
Well, can Jefferson take advantage now with Grandbois out? And again, not for a red card. She's just taking a little bit of a breather. Here's a deflection. Ball spins toward the corner. It's Hall. Rachel Hall settles it, tips it away. Her cross, partially deflected. Gunn is there.
Whoa.
Gunn double teamed, and a nice job by Sadler to get back for Cooper.
Almost a foul, though. Cooper's got to watch it here with the physicality.
Pass short, taken by Lexi Evans. Here's Camp. Sadler back for Camp. Good return feed.
Nice pass.
Camp shot. A low one. Trying for the skid. Didn't quite get it. And Youngworth makes no mistake.
I like Cooper's idea of trying to work it through the midfield and go towards the slot area. But again, Jefferson's defense so well in position, it just shuts that opportunity down. As well as Youngworth, by the way, might I mention. And again, I can't say it enough. Her positioning has been more than grandiose.
Long Henry darts toward the sideline. Herman is very quick though, beats her to the ball, but it'll be a Jaguar throw as we're in the final half hour. of Senior Day. 7 Jaguar seniors.
Also quickly turning into senior night,
That's
by the way.
true. We'll be under the lights here not too long of a time. They'll probably start to come on here in a few minutes. Macklin out, by the way, for Jefferson. So
yeah, she deserves a breather. She's worked so hard and she's played so well.
I don't think she came out in the first half, so that's probably a good time for Grandbois to go out, as both teams' best offensive players are sitting right now. Meanwhile, a Jaguar free kick for player Sazama.
And who else, by the way?
How far can she swing this one? This will get into the 18. Bloomquist and Yates were there, but headed the wrong way, and now Cooper, on a counter. It's Sadler.
I know we've covered so many games this week. You had Chaska on the mind for just a second.
Chanhassen, Chaska, and now Cooper. 3 C's all in a row. Actually, this is Velez. Jefferson able to gain possession. Up for Long Henry. The freshman, Yates, settles it. Under Long Henry. Herman is there, but plays it right to Yates, trying to battle through midfield. 3 Hawks around her. Jefferson kind of sagging a little bit to avoid being out of position. Sadler. Intervention at the right time by Zozo. Zozo still on it. Toward Rachel Hall, trying to turn on the Jets. And calmly putting it out of play, the Cooper Hawks.
And of course, we get a few substitutions here that are going to come into the game.
Once again, it was Claire Snapco. The last line of defense is back out is Aya Macklin, but also back out predictably Bella Grandbois for Cooper. And you figure they will be out there for the duration, the last 25 minutes. Again, no overtime this year because of COVID. And yet another thing to blame COVID on. You weren't angry enough about this virus. Will it be a corner here? No. Goal kick. So a goal kick for Cooper. COVID-related news. It was announced earlier this week that the Minnesota State High School League voting to bring back both football and volleyball this fall, starting on October 9th. We got our hands on the Jaguar football schedule for you Jaguar fans out there. 6-game regular season, as this throw will go back to the Jaguars. They changed that one. They'll start at Chanhassen. First home game is Friday, October 16th against Apple Valley. Then at Waconia on the 23rd. Benilde at home on Friday, October 30th. November 6th at Cooper. Here's a chance for Hull. Hull on the swing. Had it hit the toe instead of the inside of the foot as it squeaks out of play. And then the last home game Wednesday is typical with the last football game. Usually that's not in November, but it's on a Wednesday against Chaska. So Chanhassen, Apple Valley, Waconia, Benilde, Cooper, and Chaska. The football schedule released by the Minnesota State High School League earlier. We do have the Kennedy schedule too. We'll have Alex run that down, and why don't you go ahead and do that, Alex? Those same dates apply for the Kennedy schedule, by the way.
Right, so on October the 9th, that Friday night, the Kennedy Eagles get a rematch with the Millers of Minneapolis-Washburn. And that was the last game, by the way, last year that Kennedy played here under the lights of Bloomington Stadium, and during the regular season, that ended in a Washburn win, and that's going to be against some big boys from South Minneapolis. Then, of course, they go back on the road to Richfield for the second consecutive year in the Nicollet War. Kennedy won that game easily in the second half to take a 40-plus point score to the scoreboard on the Spartans. Very, very heated game. That one's expected to be as usual. Then, of course, they play on the 23rd of October, Minneapolis Southwest. And, of course, Kennedy is in a brand new district this year. They're in the Tri-City Gold this year, not the Suburban Maroon like last year. So you got some new teams in the fold. that Kennedy's going to be playing this year for football. So they host the Lakers here at Bloomington Stadium, by the way, and then they go on the road to St. Croix Lutheran. That's a team that's very, very beatable.
Well, let's get back to that, Alex. We do have a Jaguar free kick here.
Pardon that,
for
absolutely.
the Jaguars.
Critical moment here. Thanks for the interruption, Josh, as we got the mini wall going.
Through the first part of the second half, it's in the box. Jada Johnson tried to finesse that one over the top. Not a bad idea by Jada, but it just came off her foot a little bit too hard.
More positive signs, though, for Jefferson. She was in space on that last kick as it came out of the box. And again, more offensive zone time for the Jefferson Jaguars.
And why don't you very quickly, Alex, round out those last two games as we look at that chance by Johnson.
Most certainly. So then after their game against St. Croix Lutheran on the road, that's on October 30th. Then they come back here for the final home game of the regular season against the Columbia Heights Highlanders. Now, by the way, I was there when Kennedy played Columbia Heights on the road. I was stuck atop of a booth with driving sleet and snow and 50 to 60 mile an hour winds. It was nasty, and I know you were here covering the Jefferson and Sibley game that was going on. That was a really good game to watch, especially at the end with Manny Montgomery getting into the end zone.
Here's Macklin. That was onside and about a foot from Macklin being able to head that one into the back of the net on a beautiful free kick by Jolie Gunn. And, of course, snow, bad conditions, a lot more likely to happen this year with the games being pushed back all the way into November. But we'll get back to that later. Here's a counterattack. Grandbois! That one.
Another high kick.
How many have gone high by Grandbois? We had one by Sadler. And Grandbois, they are certainly trying to beat Youngworth high, but so far haven't found the correct angle.
Well, if I were to mark all of the high misses off of goal kicks by Cooper, I would have run out of paper after that last kick. Of course, figuratively speaking, but then, of course, jumping back real quick to the Kennedy football schedule that's released. They're going to play Mound West Tonka as their final game of the season. That's on November the 12th. They're going to be on the road for that one. It's going to be quite a drive all the way out to Mound.
We're looking forward to that, but for now we are delighted to bring you continued coverage of soccer on a clear foul right there. Hadley Zozel drawing it. Another midfielder that has played a strong game for the Jaguars, and this will allow Sazama, one of those 7 seniors, to send this one pretty deep into Cooper territory. Didn't get all of it, but it finds Gunn on a nice backheader. It's Long Henry as well as Keeler, but look who saves the day once again, Claire Snapco. And now Grandbois with it, leaking ahead. Grandbois wants to do it herself, and again misses high.
Hits the crossbar of the football goalpost. Again, another high kick by Cooper.
She had Ryford over there on the other side in one-on-one, and there were 3 Jaguars on her side.
Grandbois is so explosive when she gets those fast breaks going, especially through the midfield.
Evans plays it up. Here is Zozel taken away. Grandbois taken right back by Zozel.
Cooper wanted a foul there, but they didn't get any.
Well, when you get a red card or yellow card on your end, you might be a little less likely to draw a foul on the opposing team, perhaps. If I may make a little bit of an editorial comment there. That 50-50 call might not break your way is all I'm saying. Here's Sadler. Good control. Grandbois tees it up. And this will be easily done for Youngworth. And again, Cooper's getting far more shots on goal than Jefferson, but their percentage make, if I could use that terminology, is quite low on most of them. Here's Camp, deflected by Long Henry. Getting to that point of the game where if someone scores, it's very likely going to be a game winner. Especially if it's Jefferson.
It's It's also that point in the game where I've been in the booth long enough that I'm starting to roast like a rotisserie chicken in here, like from Costco. Dang it, now that's got me hungry for one.
Keeler settles it down. Long ball, Long Henry, it's onside. Abby Long Henry trying to get by Herman and does, and hits the side of the net. Probably wasn't trying to score from that angle. That would have been darn near impossible, but Riley Keeler was out in front of the net for a deflection.
I mean, overall, what a turnaround. Going to that last shot on goal attempt by the Jaguars. I mean, what a turnaround for their offense. They look like a completely different team tonight, I got to say. So fun to watch.
Zozo, this pass off target from Evans, taken by Sadler.
Without one shoe, by the way.
It came off. She's going to have to go retrieve it. I was going to say, why isn't she trying to play it up for number 19, Jayla Ryford? But I think we know the answer now. She's got that shoe back on quickly. Marin Scherber, the freshman midfielder number 9 for the throw-in. Macklin foul. This will allow Claire Snapko chance. Just so interesting how they use both of the Claires almost the exact same way. Snapko for Cooper and Sazama for Jefferson. Gunn's going to get a chance at this. Off her chest. Controlled by Aya Macklin. Can Jefferson counterattack?
Nice moves. Nice pass by Macklin.
Gunn further ahead. Out of the reach of Long Henry. Recovering Jordan Sadler. Long Henry nearly with a steal. That would have been interesting. Toward the corner, nice ball by Long Henry. Sadler in a tough spot on the field, does the smart thing and heads toward the sideline.
Jefferson able to keep it in though.
Johnson got by Keeler, the senior. Keeler didn't get a lot on it. It was a little wide. Scooping it up is goaltender Giron as we head toward the final 15 minutes.
Keeler starting to turn on offensively for Jefferson. And again, really everyone's played their part nicely here tonight, Josh, I got to say.
It's been a game without many mistakes.
And this is certainly the game that Jefferson was looking for a couple of nights ago against Chaska, but didn't quite get it. Although they
Could
did
be
make
a handball there. They play on as Long Henry had the advantage. It'll be a Jaguar throw. Zozel heads out, and Grace Shuck coming back in for Jefferson. Or correction, that's Murray, number 5. Keeler, can she get to it first? She keeps it in play, and it was deflected out for a corner. Good hustle by the senior, Riley Keeler.
Like I said earlier, Keeler has really come on for Jefferson offensively, especially inside that box. And good instinct just to get it to the net. Even if it's not too much of a good chance, it got the corner kick.
Can they find Macklin here? Jolie Gunn will try to.
Macklin's right in the middle of that box in the slot.
Corner, it's over her head. Keeler! It was touched by the Hawks!
Oh my goodness!
Was it a handball or a foul? It looks like a Jaguar foul. Holy cow. Let's see if we can get another look at that one. It certainly looked like
there was a handball down there.
A non-goalie touched it with a hand. As Cooper dodges disaster.
Wow. And again, our truck going to try and queue up the last gasp in front of the net for Cooper. as Jefferson on the corner kick almost had a chance to put it in. Of course, being ruled a foul against the Jaguars in front.
Well, Jefferson, after that near miss, they need to be careful here on the back end. Grandbois, denied by Macklid, gets it back, finds Camp. Camp over for Ryford. Sadler. Here a Snapco. Grandbois, good control by the Hawks. Sadler draws a double team, still has it. Grandbois fakes the shot. Back for Sadler. They are making Cooper work.
Especially the top of the box. Jefferson's taking it away.
And there's the giveaway. Can they get it to Long Henry? The ball up for her. And a nice job to anticipate that by Jiren, who comes out of the 18 wisely to get to it. Experience again of a senior goaltender in Jiren coming to the forefront. Emma Nelson, let's take a look at that corner kick. Why don't we? Here's the lead up to that corner kick. A nice job by Keeler to keep it alive. And here is the corner by Gunn in a pretty good spot. As you watch, there's, I think, the foul right there.
Yeah, right there in front.
And actually, it was not a handball. You saw Herman. She was gonna, maybe she heard the whistle and just instinctively wanted to grab that ball, and then at the last second, you're like, maybe I'll just have this bounce off my chest instead. So, again, good officiating. We've seen on a few of our replays tonight, this crew has been pretty much spot on.
They most certainly have, and especially with the near goal that hit the crossbar earlier in the first half, Josh. That was Jefferson's closest chance to scoring.
Good look by our crew to slow that one down. As a good chance for the Jaguars again, and results in a near miss as we're nearing 10 minutes remaining. Again, no overtime here this year. Keeler unable to keep that one in. Hall, by the way, back in. Long Henry out here for the final 10 minutes.
Josh, I got to tell you, including ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see some pretty interesting soccer here as we look to close out this match.
Macklid advances it forward. Keeler in a battle with Holmes. Holmes sends it out of play.
Nice work along the far touchline by Keeler. She's really done well in the second half, hasn't she?
And you've got the two senior forwards in Hall and Keeler out here to finish this senior day. Wouldn't it be appropriate if one of them could find the back of the net for a Jaguar game winner?
Yeah, and Keeler a little bit early on, folks, if you remember, she created that corner kick chance opportunity, blasting it out of that corner off of a Cooper player, then out of play across the goal line for that corner kick. Then, of course, the Jefferson foul on the ball in right close to the net would have the ball going the other way. And meanwhile, Cooper's trying to get it on.
Yeah, Velez winning a 50-50. Oh, no. What is going to be the call here? Velez fell down on that challenge. I think they're going to rule this outside of the box, which is a fortunate break for Jefferson. But look who's stepping up to deliver this strike. It's Bella Grandbois.
She wants her 5th goal on the year, too.
This is an extremely dangerous situation for the Jaguars. Grandbois strike, and that is way too high. Unfortunately for her and Cooper, but Jefferson can breathe easy. And how good do you think Kayla Youngworth felt as she saw that one was clearly going to be too high of an angle?
Oh, she felt pretty darn good. Of course, you don't have to put too much guesswork into assuming that.
Here's Macklid.
Ooh, nice control.
Stays with it, Aya Macklid, just a sophomore. Keeler. stays with it, plays it up ahead. Yates, not going to be able to track that one down, but it goes out for a Jaguar throw. Let's see if we can see where that foul took place here. We need to back that one up just a few seconds. You saw where Velez ended up. She ended up inside of the 18. It's just a matter of where that contact was that drew the foul. We can back that up a little bit. Let's take a look at that. And yeah, right there, you can see a good call once again by the referee. That contact by Nelson did happen outside of the box and correctly ruled. But that looked almost like imminent disaster for the Jaguars when you saw Velez laying in that penalty box. Good ball by Grandbois, trying to get Velez on a run.
Whoa!
And a return foul on Velez. Nelson is down for Jefferson, and we might have a card here again.
One would think. And that's exactly what the official is going to award, a yellow card. We've already had 2 in this game after that. Boy, has it gotten chippy here in the second half.
Thankfully, Emma Nelson popping right back up for Jefferson. I think it was that right arm being extended without really going after that ball. For Velez, not trying to slide tackle it away or anything like that.
Sadler again on that last yellow card, very frustrated.
Of course, yellow card, you can stay in the game.
You have to get 2 yellow cards to get ejected, and of course, we hope that doesn't happen.
Macklid, Long Henry back in. Long Henry coming back to help out was the freshman Kira Snapko. Here's a chance. Swinging it was Evans, but wide of the mark.
Great optimistic play in the midfield by Evans. Saw that the ball's coming to her, that she was in space, and tried to get it towards the net. Pretty textbook. Nothing more you can ask for right there as the ball takes a few hops out of play.
Cooper throw. Just over 6 minutes left. Still scoreless in this game. Not a surprise, really, when you look at this. Jefferson's only given up 10 goals all year, but have only scored 3. So they're the most likely of these 2 teams to have a 0 result. And I think both because Jefferson's strong defense, but also we've seen Cooper play maybe better defensively than they have in other games. They've allowed 19 goals this year. And here we are in the waning moments, still scoreless. Grandbois, so deadly. This one will harmlessly go wide. And maybe just asking too much there, Grandbois. I just don't know how she would expect to score from that spot on the field. And there's nobody over there, no teammates in that area.
I think credit Jefferson's defense with applying the constant pressure. You know, they look so relaxed back there. And you know what? They're having fun. And you know what? It's senior night. Come on. Why are you not having fun if you aren't having any?
Sadler, not a good touch, and a foul on Hall. And here will come likely Sazama, you would think. And certainly from here can threaten. And here she comes, the senior.
Fans starting to make some noise here as Sazama's about to send it in here on the free kick, and Sadler for Cooper really needs to watch her temper.
May not get many more of these chances for the Jaguars. Sazama into the 18. Nicely headed out. Johnson is there. Chips it, tried to chip it back in. Could not. Has another chance. Claire Snapko gets a hold of that one. So Cooper dodges that chance from the Jaguars and now looking to make a chance of their own in the last 5 minutes. Ella Camp, the sophomore. Velez. Stolen Macklid.
Oh boy.
Macklid, here she goes. Touched it too far, unfortunately. That allowed Claire Snapko once again do everything she can to keep Jefferson out of the net in this game. Macklin challenging the freshman, the younger sister Kira, who recovers. Good poise by her. And now Grandbois gets around Gunn. Look out. Bella Grandbois. Not comfortable shooting with the left, so she goes to the right. And boy, if she would have had maybe a better left-footed shot, Alex, that would have been the time to take it.
Most certainly, and yet again, another high shot over the net by her.
So now we're 3:20 away from having this end in a scoreless draw.
Let's go ahead and get another look at that.
And Grandbois had room to her left and could have released a shot in a much better situation. As we have a steal by Sadler. Sadler in the 18. Sadler tips it ahead and just in time. It was the Jaguar D recovering. And a ball up for Hall or Long Henry. Snap code. Back just in the nick of time once again. And now the Jaguars showing urgency. Zozel is back in. Right in front of a Jaguar student section, a little less populated than normal, but they're being vocal right now.
And as vocal as they've always have been.
Macklin trying to win this corner. Macklin, her cross! Just out of the reach of Bloomquist.
I got to tell you, that piece of footwork along that corner, Josh.
Bloomquist steal.
Something.
Yates cross for Hall. Just couldn't get it past. Guess who? Snapco. Again. Last line of defense in almost every situation. Claire Snapco for Cooper. Watch the maneuverability and shiftiness of Aya Macklin. And that's against Claire Snapco. Their best defender
certainly.
by far.
Yeah, right between the legs, the twinkst, the scissor twinkst.
Might be the last best chance for the Jaguars. There's still 1:40 left. As Cooper cannot keep this in. Trying for one more push on senior night, Jefferson.
Jefferson inching up on the throw-in once again.
It's great to see Jefferson try to keep their foot on the gas pedal here. There's that student section with the signs. A little less populated than normal, but they've been vocal here the last few minutes.
Definitely bringing the bling too with, of course, the signage.
Jefferson throw once again. Long Henry. Calmly touching that out as Holmes. They're content to keep it along the perimeter.
Got to hurry, under a minute left.
They'll get Sazama to come up for this throw. See how far she can fling it. Into the 18 for Bloomquist. Trying to get a corner but cannot, and now they have to be careful here on a counterattack, although Sadler just blasted ahead.
I mean, if you're Jefferson right now, wouldn't you try and get some taller bodies into that box to try and put in a set play?
Hall couldn't quite keep it away cleanly from Sadler. Johnson fires. Ball up for grabs. Long Henry. Corner kick with 10 seconds.
Oh my goodness,
they need to hurry. They may run out of time. It's Macklin trying to set it down. Gets it away, but not in time. And this game ends in a scoreless tie as the Jaguar fans rise to their feet on this senior night for 7 Jaguar seniors. They'll still have one more home game against Kennedy, which is our next broadcast on October 6th. But a well-played game by both teams. Alex, Jefferson, we'll get to highlights here in a minute, but one of their better performances of the season and a well-earned tie here tonight.
Well, certainly. They look like a completely different team on that soccer pitch, Josh. Offensively, they had the majority of the time in the attacking zone, both in the first and second half, and the looks that they got were quality chances. Not just, maybe top of the box, maybe having the ball sailing over. No. This was in the box, very in close proximity to the net, and the chances they had. And you know what? They're getting a standing ovation right now, as they appropriately should get. And their offensive play, especially the midfield, that's where it really started offensively for them. They were able to get the transitions they needed, the midfield rather. I'm going a little bit too fast for myself, but it's just there's so much to talk about, you know? And especially Macklett as well, handling that ball and the turnovers that she was able to create in space or even double covered on defenders. Didn't matter who she was up against. She made plays happen. And, you know, even all of her teammates as well. And, you know, the one thing that we like to mention about the Jaguars and have mentioned quite a bit this season has been that defense, and they really haven't seen a whole lot of action. And, of course, that includes Sazma as well. But, yeah, I mean, overall, well played. I mean, this was probably the most balanced game that I've seen from Jefferson all year from the girls. Very well done.
Let's take a look at the highlights, and you're going to see many more dangerous chances for Jefferson than Cooper in this game. This is second half highlights, by the way, as Jefferson had a couple very near misses in the first half, including one off of a crossbar, as they would threaten with several corner kicks. Here was a yellow card on Bella Grandbois, who was frustrated all game. Jefferson did a wonderful job on her. All of her shots on goal came from distance. Jefferson just weren't able to get the bounces to go their way. That was a good look by Jada Johnson. Another one into the box, just too far for Macklett. Jaguar offense did all they could in this game to try to find the back of the net. Several good saves by A.J. Giron. Youngworth there. That one over the bar, as were most of the shots for Cooper. They did have a really good chance just outside of the 18 with about 10 minutes left on a free kick by Grandbois that sailed high. There was a gun corner kick, and this one was very close to being tipped in by Keeler, but a foul happened before that. It's also frustrating they didn't get a chance to go into overtime because Jefferson had the momentum in this game at the end of that second half.
Here's what I was talking about surrounding Macklett's ability to handle the ball one-on-one.
I mean, that's just sick right there.
Yeah. I mean, did the scissor twinks the legs and all that. Yeah, I mean, broke her ankles.
And that is an outstanding player, too, Snapko. She is no slouch back there, as we saw
certainly
all game. So, final thoughts from you, Alex, here as we start seeing the boys come onto the pitch for our nightcap.
First of all, I'm excited that we get to see the boys' soccer match here closely on BEC-TV about to get underway. But, you know, from the girls' match, you couldn't have played it any better offensively if you're Jefferson, especially a team that has really kind of struggled to find their offensive sweet spots throughout the season. Has kind of had to focus a little bit more on that defensive, in fact, a lot more on the defensive side of the ball. So an absolute turnaround. I mean, this is the game that you dream of having on a senior night. Of course, maybe you want to have some goals in relation to good offense that you put up. But, I mean, overall, just a very well-balanced game by Jefferson. And Cooper, they had some issues, especially with ball contact. They had a lot of high kicks over the net, and so if they could settle that down a little bit, they should be in good shape for their upcoming matches. So that's my take on tonight's match, Josh, and yet again, I'm excited for the boys because Jefferson came out of here Tuesday night with a 2-2 tie against the top bird in the Metro West against the Chaska Hawks. Well, they are rolling, so it's going to be very fun.
They're coming up next against the Cooper Hawks, are the Jaguar boys. About 7:15, so if you're watching live, stick around for that. If you're not watching live and you want to know when the boys' game is going to be shown, head on over to BEC-TV.org or check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/BEC-TV. Our next and final girls broadcast of the regular season will be against Kennedy coming up on October 2nd. As we wrap it up from here, for our crew and for Alex Redding, this is Josh Powers saying so long from now as the Jaguars and Hawks go to a scoreless draw.